What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. So in today's question, I'm going to answer a question I get asked a lot on Instagram DMs, and that's, do you have to be a cop first to be a SWAT medic? And we'll get to that right now, but today is my monthly currency day with SWAT, and we're about to do an operation. So as soon as we're done, we'll answer that question. Be right back. All right, so let's answer this question that I get asked all the time on IG DMs, and somebody in a recent video asked, do I need to be a cop first before I become a SWAT medic? And the answer is pretty obvious, right? I mean, it depends, right? And it depends on where you want to work. Where do you see yourself working, right? And the funny thing is with tactical being a tactical medic is that there's no certification that says you have this, you can go work. You know, like if you had your national registry paramedic, you can go work, right? Or your FPC, and they require that to be a flight medic, right? It changes greatly from department to department. Our department, we have a full-time team. We have four full-time medics that we have detached over from fire on a rotating basis at a year at a time. A neighboring city next to us, which is a very busy city, with a lot of crime and a lot of calls, SWAT calls, and they are a part-time. They're a pool concept team. They have 8 guys that are full-time, and their medics from the fire department that that get called in whenever they get a call. And then the county north of us is also not full-time, and their medics are also from the fire department and from 2 specific stations that they have that are like slow stations, and they figure they get the medics from there so that they'll be available if, God forbid, something happens and there's a call out, right? And then within our own county, there is a small little area up in the north part of the county where it's a regional team, right? So a regional team is where it's a bunch of little police departments that give up their guys to form a SWAT team, and their medic is a retiree from our department that is the medic on that regional team, right? So it varies greatly in LA. I mean, in California, right? For instance, they take their cops and send them to paramedic school. So they just take care of the problem from within, right? That was something that our fire union asked when we tried to start our program almost 15 years ago was, well, why can't you just make the cops medics, right? And that was something that we felt strongly against because if you don't have the experience, and you're just going to EMT and then paramedic school, and then you're on the team in the highest threat level possible. I mean, unless you have some very robust way of maintaining the medical skills, those are diminishing skills, and they're going to drop. As opposed to bringing a guy or girl that is on a fire truck, going out there exposed to these calls, and they're just, they're responding to these calls every day, so it's second nature, right? And I'm sure there's going to be a ton of you that are going to disagree with it and say, no, that's fine. You can just send the guy to EMT. Go ahead. Beat me up in the comments. That's fine. My opinion, my humble opinion, I've been doing this for 31 years. We've had this program almost 15 years. I'm a flight medic. And I just feel that somebody that just was a paper medic, and I'm kind of getting off track here, but that's how I feel about that. Anyway, so back to your question. You don't need to be. There are departments that have paramedics or EMTs in an ambulance that have gone through some type of TEMS program, some gentleman's course where they just attended and know how to work in the hot zone with police and for a week or whatever, and they're good to go, and they have a vest and a helmet, and if something happens, that team says, well, we'll bring the operator, I mean, sorry, not the operator, we'll bring the officer out to you. And they bring the person out to them. They never come in here. They're never going to come into the hot zone, right? So it's every team is different, right? So we want the medics to be in here to learn that dance, because if we go into a structure that's more than a single family residence, it's going to multi-level structure or something, and the medics are trailing behind, they need to know, okay, where they need to be, and how the guys move. because you want to be an asset, not a liability, right? So, but at the end, to answer your question, again, it depends. It depends on where you want to work. So find out where you want to work. Find out what they require. You might want to be a cop just because you want to be a cop and that's what you want to do. And you, for the sake of being a cop, and that's amazing. That's awesome, right? It's a very necessary job and a very, very hard job. They're going through a tough time right now, but man, they're out there and they're doing it, right? So you might want to be a cop, and then you might be so motivated that you're like, well, I want to go get EMT too, and then maybe I can be on my team as I can be one of the guys in my, if you make it, because remember, if you're thinking this, you're not, you haven't even started. So remember, you're gonna become a cop, you're gonna work in the field, you're gonna get some experience, and then whenever you're able to try out for SWAT, you're gonna do that, and then you're going to have a specialty on the team. So if that's a specialty you want, and that's the route you want to go, then you got at some point in there go to EMT and paramedic, right? So it's up to you, right? It's up to you, um, which which route you want to go. Do you want to go the police route, and I'm going to be a police officer and patrol first, and know that you're going to do that, right? You're not just coming in and be like, hey, I want to be a SWAT medic. No, you have to work your way up through this. Or do you want to come into the fire side? But you have to know that wherever, whatever department fire-wise you're working has the ability to be attached to a team, or that they have a TEMS program, or they have a SWAT medic program, things like that. So those are the things you need to ask, you need to find out, and that will better answer your question for you and your specific aspirations, right? And so I hope that answered your question. And until the next one, stay fast.